Greetings. Hey, it's Susie Juicy Veg here. Whew! There's been a lot of energy moving around. Are you feeling that? Whew! Lots of different things going on, and I have been fairly quiet. I love it. So, just a few observations from just a little juicy veg here is that it just seems like I'm having really beautiful and amazing exchanges with my family, particularly my children and my grandchildren. And I'm like feeling pretty good about that. I'm absolutely loving that when we are able to slow down and set aside the busy nature of what we do, as we have time to have deeper and wonderful and loving exchanges with our family. And so I'm fortunate. I've got 2 kids and I've got 6 grandkids. And I absolutely love it. I'm also kind of observing too that for me and maybe for you too, is that it seems like we're needing a little bit more time for rest. And so it could be because we're eating too much. I think we're all eating. Just like, I don't know. But it's kind of cool when we just kind of just accept that we're feeling a little different. And it could be like yesterday, I had some kind of wackadoodle feelings, and I'm a very emotional being. So my physical body gets impacted by the emotions, and I'm very aware of that. So I did a little work with that yesterday. But our emotions are showing up so differently now because we've kind of slowed things down. Of course, we know there's people across the globe that are really suffering with so many different things that are in their field. And so we send so much love and blessings for those folks. And for me, I'm living kind of quietly and in a peaceful way. And I have tons of delicious nutrition that's here, and enjoying that. But I know for a lot of people, their emotions are showing up differently. And so I'm kind of rambling, as I always do. I can only be me, right? So but what I found for myself, and it may work for you too, is that when we are really tuning in with our bodies, of course, I love my body. I picked this body and I'm like, hell yeah, I'm going to take this one down and take it for a spin. So, but we know that the body is a really impactful and a great little helper for us, because as we're having different feelings or emotions, or we're adapting to new things, and like people are like, I don't want to be adapting right now, but we're adapting to things that are different. And so the body is a really great indicator or a messenger system. For example, again, I mentioned I'm an emotional body, so I am able to tune into a lot of different frequencies that are in my field, and so that's just part of my MO, So, but with the body itself, like sometimes we may have a little crick in the neck, or we may have a little tummy ache, or we may have something that's showing up in the body. And so when I work with people, the best thing I can do is just to remind you to listen to the messages of your body, because it's actually talking to you directly. And it's not like we're separate from the body. We are all of that and more. Of course, we know we're spirit that happens to have these beautiful bodies. But to tune into the messages of your body as you're moving through adapting and changing, and maybe feeling, a little womp, womp, womp about changes in your field. So what I do when I have messages from my body, yesterday I was kind of emotional, and of course it could be energies and frequencies about. A lot of times I don't create much of a narrative about it. Sometimes I can't identify what the feelings are. I just know that something is different in my field. So when you're feeling a little bit off in the body or with your thinking, it's always a good time to connect with your breath. And sometimes people want to help us, and of course we love our helpers, and sometimes it's really good for us just to go inward and naming the breath, breathing in and breathing out. Doing that for a few breath cycles until you feel more centered. And as you do that, you can continue to tune into the body and really notice and have that belief that it is possible that you can shift your own frequency within your body and changing it into a different outcome. So sometimes people will have these things that show up in the body all of a sudden, like one second I'm like feeling groovy and the next I feel like womp, womp, womp. So then it's kind of like, is this interference in my body or in my auric field? Is it really mine? So sometimes beyond, doing that breath work is we might ask our own selves, our higher self, or that, that beautiful divine soul essence that we are. Is this really even for me? Now, for me, I've been working with energies and frequencies for a while, and I'm fairly self-taught in how to manage all of that. And what I found is that sometimes when we have something that's an interference that comes all of a sudden, it's kind of like, wait a minute, just like you're going, wait a minute. That's not for me, okay? So just like we're watching the TV and we're watching advertisements and we're watching the news, we're getting infiltrated and absorbing different, ideals and thoughts and imagery and things of that nature. And it's like not even really about us, right? It's not really even about us. But I cannot lie, I am watching Netflix series. But we are absorbing these frequencies, whether it's entertaining or not. So that if you have something that impacts your body or changes your overall mood, you might want to take a look at your auric field and go, hey, what's going on here? Now, a lot of times when I'm assisting people is we address that, the breathing, we address, is it emotional, is it physical? And a lot of times it goes into the physical if it's not. If it continues to persist, the body is going to say, hey, listen to me, listen up. So when we're looking at possible interferences that really aren't our stuff, it just becomes attached to us, is that we have opportunities to let things go. Now, for me, I'm pretty badass. So I don't like mess around. And I used to do mantras and do all these prayers and blessings. And now I'm just like, get out of my field. Okay, now I've been working with the energies for a long time. So mine is now more quick and it's more addressing the exact precise issue that is coming up. Something is in disharmony in my body or your body. And I don't mess around with it anymore. I just ask the energies to move on. You might even say, may this feeling that I have, or maybe this thing in my stomach or this whatever. Of course, go to the doctor, take your medicine, whatever it is that you find is your medicine, all right? My medicine is life, right? But there's opportunities where we can just let things go. So when we are able to access a point of entry into the field of our body and notice that, hey, nothing really happened that's really different that's affecting me in this way. So what is it? It's not for you. So some of the practices I do is you can even send this energy to the light, take this energy away from my auric field or from my field of awareness or aliveness, send it to the light. If you think this is a bunch of malarkey, you know what? 10 years ago, I would have said, yeah, Susie's full of baloney. But listen, I've really been awakened a number of years ago with some pretty cool stuff, and it's pretty weird and wacky too. But we have the ability to manage our own auric field, our own bodies, and our own thinking by really naming it. Is it really mine? Is it really mine? And if it's not, do I really want to keep it? Is it beneficial? So that's a question I ask myself a lot too, is this feeling, this emotion, or this body sensation beneficial? If it's not, if I'm getting a no, then it's like not for me. I send it directly to the light. Again, I'm kind of a stinker, so I do use some language when I do it, especially if it's really persistent. I'm pretty outrageous and like, get out of my field. Blah, blah, blah. Some other words in between. Anyway, I just sending you so much love and light right now, and knowing that whatever you're experiencing is beneficial in your life and is supportive and loving as well. So many, many, many blessings from the juice. Bye.